Hi, so what's your names, by the way?
Michael.
Michael and Liam. I'm John, pleased to meet you. And thanks for stopping by and agreeing to discuss this topic with me. Can I first ask you if you both think your thoughts are your own thoughts?
On what, sorry?
Your thoughts, the thoughts that you have,
Yeah.
are they your own thoughts, do you think?
Well, mostly, but they can be influenced by the people you're around. most
Yeah,
of the time.
absolutely.
Any other influences you can think of?
Work colleagues, friends, lecturers. We're in an academic place, so we're bombarded with ways to think, but it's how you kind of manipulate that, I guess.
Yeah, and is that at all overlooking your natural thoughts and how you see the world, do you think? Or do you think that's been totally taken over by authority?
No, I don't think it's been completely taken over.
No.
Uh-huh.
Obviously, like I said, you do get a lot of stuff like sent your way, and I think it's your manipulation of how you perceive that is what you get. But I don't think my way of thinking's been taken over by anybody. Yeah. It's definitely influenced, though.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with that. Do you think you have any original thought then, or do you think all thought is just modernized from different influences like the media, education, and
yeah, I'd say so. I think,
and experience as well, what you've actually
yeah
gone through. But it's hard to have an original thought if you've not got something to justify it.
Yeah, I agree.
I would ask you both, do you think you can think about anything you don't know nothing about?
Probably not without any sort of preconception of what it is. Nothing at all, I couldn't really have an opinion.
Yeah, I think so as well. It might be completely wrong and everybody might disagree with it, but I think I'd have an opinion on most things. Yeah.
I suppose the basis of all that thought and opinion are stem from thought originally there that's been influenced by.
Yeah. Do you think like a lot of it comes from how society would react to information, and you'd kind of react to
the same way?
Yeah. I think that's
well, that's another external influence. It's just
I think so.
The way you think.
And can I ask you guys if you've heard of cognitive dissonance and what it means?
I haven't.
No.
Cognitive dissonance means that something you've believed inherently all your life, and probably everybody else around you believe it, in the media and television tell you, reconfirm that. So you believe that all your life. So along comes somebody like me saying, oh, perhaps that's not actually true. I'm just going to wait till this tractor passes by. Deary me. Yes, so with cognitive dissonance, you believe something all your life, and along comes me saying,
else,
but have you thought of, and you immediately dismiss it because
you're in denial.
Yeah. Plus, you've been socially conditioned to actually believe that is true, whether it's true or not.
Yeah.
You fundamentally believe it's true.
Yeah.
So don't be stupid. Of course, it's true. So I'm now going to go into a subject that you may think is a wee bit out there, but this subject is growing so much on the internet. I don't know if you've come across it yet, but could I ask you, what shape do you think the place is that you live on?
Oh, the Earth. I do believe it's round.
You believe it's round?
Yeah, I believe round.
You believe? Yeah. I could ask you both why you believe that. And could I just say that you did say you believe? So is it a belief or is it direct experience, do you think?
Well, I have based it more or less on the fact that so I've got, is it Dutch-Swan syndrome? So
yes,
you see everything else is round and you sort of just think, this must be. And photos as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kind of do show it as having a curvature.
I think I'm at the point where I don't think somebody could say something to me that would make me think differently. That I'd say the Earth is round. If somebody would dispute that, I don't think I could persuade to
I'd
believe
need
that.
proof, I think.
So could I play with this a little with you?
Of course, yeah.
Okay. Do you have proof that it's a ball?
Well, nothing beyond photos that I've seen where it has a clear curvature, but I don't think that's proof enough. There's no such thing as a video that you see the whole Earth spinning.
That's
and you
true.
wonder why.
There's no 24/7 high definition video of the Earth spinning,
exactly, yeah.
showing all the weather patterns and lightning and so forth, and stars in the background. That doesn't exist.
Do you think that at some point they could be though? Do you think it's just because we just don't have things in place? Because like
people are more interested in finding things about other planets that they're probably not that interested in just having a video of the Earth.
But also, like, space exploration is still in its infancy. We just haven't had time to maybe establish a 24-hour thing.
But I mean, to go as far as a flat Earth, there would have to be something that is told to me as evidence that makes me think, okay.
So you mentioned flat Earth. You've obviously been looking at it on the internet, have you?
Well, no. I just I know of a couple of people who are in the Flat Earth Society. There's the rapper B.O.B.
Yeah, it's quite a big thing.
It is, yeah. It's been growing traction. I mean, I've seen it. I've not really looked into it beyond my.
Could I suggest to you that all these images you see of the Earth, none of them are real. None of them are actual photographs. They're all composites. Would you believe that, or do you think that's hard to believe?
I would say that's hard to believe, unless all photos of everything ever taken in space is all composites.
Can I prove to you the second? If you just hold a second, I'll show you an example. Every year, NASA show pictures of the Earth with blue marble shots. Right? Now, this is taken off NASA's own website, 1978 and 1912. Notice the different sizes of America. Do you think there's something odd there?
I think it's a fairly different size. Are you sure that's America though?
Wait, is that the same place?
Yep.
I think that's the point.
Remember, that's NASA's official photograph. Sorry, even I'm conditioned to saying it.
Yeah.
That's NASA's official images.
Yeah, well...
Yeah,
This is a picture from the far side of the moon. Using your critical thinking, do you really think that's real?
It doesn't look like it, because the moon is awfully far away.
Yeah, I wouldn't say
that
that
size. Yeah.
There's a famous picture or the video of the Apollo module coming round the far side of the moon, and the moon's tiny. The Earth is tiny.
Yeah. No, that can't.
I don't think that looks real.
Now, see, that's just because I've asked you to use your critical thought there.
Yeah.
Most of us just look at the television and accept it. I don't know if you know, but say watching television is the closest you'll be to hypnosis, because your mind is in a state of suggestion. It's open to everything.
Yeah, I'd agree.
It's not in a critical frame of thinking. But when I said to you, could you use your critical thinking before looking at this, and you both agree that's not very real looking, is it?
Yeah.
Now, have you ever seen evidence of the curvature of the Earth?
I've seen photos where you can see a very, very slight gradient, and obviously the Earth is huge, so that has been as far as I've needed to convince I've not even needed to convince myself, but as far as proof goes.
So you think that's proof that there's evidence of the curvature?
I think it's as far as my life experience goes, that's the closest I'd
We've
get
seen the
without
curvature.
actually actively researching it.
Yeah. Where have you seen the curvature?
Well, you can be on a plane and see it, and also there's a horizon. Stuff disappears over the horizon from bottom down, so like a ship going over the horizon, the way that it disappears over the horizon.
Okay. Two things there. I would suggest you've not seen the curvature there from a plane.
Okay.
I certainly haven't. I've paraglided myself, solo at high altitudes. I've flown at high altitudes. I've used a video recorder and a camera. I've never seen any curvature. Here is pictures from a high altitude balloon, amateur balloon, not your NASA official photographs.
Right.
And you can see all the horizons are completely flat and at eye level. So if you're standing on a beach, is the horizon at eye level?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I
Yeah,
guess,
the
yeah,
horizon.
so, yeah.
And it's flat.
Yeah.
If you're standing on a mountain, is it eye level?
Yeah.
Is it flat?
Yeah.
At high altitude, you can see it's level and it's flat, despite what NASA tried to tell us with their photographs. That's another independent high altitude balloon.
But who took these? How do we know who took
These are amateur balloons. They're not official photographs.
These are on our course as well. So
Sure. And,
yeah.
But
one more.
Does such a photo exist showing the whole Earth as flat? Because
Well, the thing is, I'm not saying it's flat, but I'm not coming across with any models and telling you what it is.
Yeah.
I'm just challenging your critical thinking to question what you've been told it is. Did you hear about Felix? I forget his second name.
Oh yeah, the Red
the
Bull.
guy
Right.
who dropped.
Yeah.
Now, I fly drones and I've got a fisheye lens on it, which makes everything curved.
Yeah.
Now he's got a fisheye lens on his helmet. Now there's a little photograph here, taken from inside the capsule, which contradicts what he's got on his helmet.
Alright.
Do you see
Oh
that?
yeah, that little bit there. But that doesn't really show the whole horizon.
No, but you can go online and see it a lot bigger than that. And I've just shown you a couple of other photographs there showing you the whole horizon being flat.
Yeah. Definitely looks flat.
Now, I'll just stop this
Yeah.
truck gets past. you have Robert Simmons, who works on behalf of NASA. He came out recently, you can see him on YouTube and on anywhere on the internet. He's stating that the blue marble which he created is Photoshop. He says it has to be. So he's actually admitting that it's not real photographs.
The blue marble's the picture of the Earth?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
So he's admitting that they're Photoshop, which Photoshop being composites taken from a high altitude balloon or aeroplane off the Earth and then making them into a curved shape, you know, editing it and joining it together to make it look like it's a ball. So that's NASA admitting they're not photographs themselves. And I would say that none of us have direct experience of curvature. We've never seen it. And you mentioned ships going over the horizon. Now, if you go to YouTube, and you'll see a ship way in the horizon just disappearing, and then it's out of view. So people are saying, "Oh, look, it's gone over the edge." But then somebody uses a zoom camera, telescope zooms in, and the ship comes back into view with the bottom of the ship, showing it's a matter of perspective, not curvature.
I think you can take the photograph of the sun setting as well, and the sun disappears from the middle. No, it disappears from the bottom, and the top is still visible. But I thought that was to do with the way the light is scattered through the atmosphere. You can actually photograph a cut, or what looked like the middle part of the sun is missing, but it's actually just the top that's still in view. And I thought that was just to do with the atmosphere. I've seen something to do with that, where the sun doesn't disappear from top, like I described the ship doing.
Yes.
The middle will disappear, and the top will float above the horizon.
What if I said that the sun is simply, excuse me, the sun is simply going beyond your vision, rather than going down over an edge? Like, say if I had a tennis ball here, and it travelled all the way right to the end of the building there, along the level of the ground. Eventually, it would disappear, wouldn't it? And you'd think it was going down the edge, but all it's doing is going beyond your line of sight, and it's a matter of perspective rather than going down over an edge.
But wouldn't sections of the sky still be okay for us to see? If the sun is lighting it and it goes beyond the edge, would the light not still emit partly?
Well, I think when you take into consideration atmosphere, weather patterns.
But then you still get the day-night cycle where the light is still, as it goes round the Earth, saying that the Earth is round, the amount of light you get from the sun diminishes and it gets darker and darker as it goes around. But if it just goes beyond your line of sight, it's still going to emit.
Yeah. What have I put to you that the sun is a lot closer, because you do get hot spots, don't you?
Yeah.
Where it comes at an angle.
Yeah.
And it comes through the clouds, so it'd all be illuminated with light rather than a little hot spot, wouldn't it? So that suggests it's a lot closer. Now, if it was a lot closer and the sun was more like a torch beam rather than a light covering the whole planet, so if that torch beam was just going around the planet and say it was a flat surface, then it would go way off in the distance, and night time would be coming to us while it's light around the other side.
Would it though, if it were all on?
If it was too far away,
Yeah.
and it was more like a torch beam
Yeah.
rather than a illuminating light.
Okay. Yeah, like
So-
a lighthouse.
Yeah, so the moon and the sun would be revolving round the edges.
Okay. I just can't wrap my head around it because it's an alien thought to me.
Yeah. Well, exactly. How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
26.
26. So, like me, you went to school and you were told you live in this ball.
Yeah.
Right. So, probably like me, you never question that again, because any questions you had, they would tell you it was gravity. To believe something so fundamentally without any evidence.
Yeah.
And now I've got 10, 20 minutes to convince a lifetime of 26 years of indoctrination that you believe you live in a ball. So it's not going to happen.
No.
But I'm hoping that you'd go off and have a look yourself and go online and research this, because this is a huge topic.
Yeah.
And if what I'm saying is true, you can't unsee truth, can you?
No.
So more and more people are coming into this. Of course, the mainstream media is not going to touch it because it contradicts everything they're saying. I mean, you've been brought up all your life with a BBC ball playing at every programming that you're getting. You're getting this BBC Globe, aren't you?
Yeah. I mean, I have read not much at all, but I would only be swayed if there was something that completely proved it, not just hypothetically.
Yeah, but could I ask you, why do you accept it and think it's proof when you don't have any proof that it's a ball?
Well, as I said, it's probably the duck-swan syndrome, where if a duck lives its whole life with swans, it just assumes it's also a swan. And I mean, it might not be.
So at least you're admitting that perhaps what you've been told may not be true.
Oh, absolutely.
yeah.
It could be a possibility.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Could you confirm to me that on a passenger airliner, that's the way it would be flying? Oops, sorry, horizontally.
Yes.
So would you agree that the ground is always below the plane?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Now, could you put the plane at the equator, please?
I can.
And fly around the equator between east and west,
Right.
and put the plane in a position.
It's slope away. Yeah. Okay.
Now, can we have a look at the angle of the plane there?
Yeah.
Do planes actually fly like that?
No.
No, right. So why are you holding it that way? So, planes fly horizontally, don't they?
Yeah.
But you've got it on the side.
Yeah.
So why are you holding it on the side?
Because it's horizontal to the equator.
Yes, but do planes actually fly like that in reality?
Probably not.
So what position do planes fly in?
Well, in relation to the Earth.
Yes, well no, just where the passengers are sitting freely without a seatbelt, having to be hanging on for dear life.
You mean
on
like
side.
that? Yeah.
Yeah. So what's below the plane at the moment?
Nothing.
Just space,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this little exercise, I'm trying to show to you that it's a physical impossibility for an airplane to remain horizontally and fly around a ball.
I would disagree because it's
Because in relation to the Earth, that is horizontal on the equator, all the way around.
but it's gravity that's pulling it down to the ground. So it's like it is horizontal to where gravity's pulling it towards. Like our orientation to the Earth is below us, but to the sun, I'm at a funny angle to the sun, and it's the same with the plane. It's
Okay, looking at this, as my friend Gavin pointed out to me, looking from space, I'm on the moon, I'm looking at that,
Yep.
then I'm seeing a plane fly around the side. Is that possible?
on its side, like
Yes.
here.
Like that.
I'm watching from the moon and thinking,
Yeah. 'cause
Jesus, a plane flying on the side.
Yeah,
That's
I would-
possible.
yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
because then it would be in relation to the Earth. But if you're on the moon, you're not actually influenced by that at all. So it wouldn't have to be horizontal for you.
But-
It would
but-
just have to be horizontal. in
But
relation to the Earth.
this is factual observation.
Right.
I've got a giant telescope. I'm sitting on the moon and I'm watching this plane turn on its side, flying around the Earth.
Well, it depends on what angle you saw it at, though.
But how
Because
could
if you were on the moon level with it and you'd see it
Uh-huh.
like that, you'd just see the top of the plane. But you'd see that if you were looking down on it too.
But I would still see it being horizontal on the next to the Earth, wouldn't I?
But surely it would just depend on the angle you saw it at.
No, well, let's say it's flying underneath. Then
yeah.
I'm on the moon and I can see the plane upside down going around the ball. I'm going, no, that doesn't happen. How can that happen?
But it's gravity that's pulling it towards the Earth, and it's always going to be below it in a round world.
So you've got one plane on the top and one plane on the bottom.
Yeah.
But both of them are.
Yeah. Yeah. It works. I can't explain it. It's so
No.
frustrating.
Have you got any examples of this replicating this and how it works in real life, or is this just a theory?
Well, surely it's also just a theory that it would be weird to see it flying upside down.
Well, I have to say that it's just a theory because I can't prove it.
Well,
But I believe it so much that it's.
Thank you for your honesty, but
Yeah.
if you notice the terminology you're using a belief,
Yeah.
right? So it's like a
I
religion.
hate that.
Yes, so do I.
But it's not proven either way.
Yeah.
And you mentioned gravity, but you do know that's only a theory as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's called the theory of gravity.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's an insult to my intelligence as an adult that they say this gravity word with no evidence of it, and it can hold water to a ball, vast oceans to a ball.
Yeah.
But yet it doesn't stop little birds and insects, smoke, helium balloons rising, but it can hold vast oceans to a ball.
Right.
But then you have
surely
like motion
also,
and heat and.
if you were to believe something else at this stage, anything is just belief.
Yeah, but I think I said at the beginning I don't believe I have any models. What I'm doing is I'm challenging what I'm being told to believe.
Yeah.
I'm using my critical thinking as an adult. And I'm thinking,
But
water
at any point,
spinning around a ball.
at
Come
any
on, come on.
point,
But
my belief would just change to a different belief with still no proof, and people could still question it the other way and go, how can it do this, that, and the other if the Earth is flat or...
Personally speaking, when you're challenging common accepted norms, I think it's important not to have any other beliefs, just to see the fact, or the false in the false, and there the truth will be. If you find out what is false, then you're more likely to be close to truth.
Yeah.
Now, we're being told all this without a shred of evidence.
Yeah. I think the best way I can think of describing how I feel on it is, if you put it into a computer science sense, you say to somebody, describe a computer and how a computer works.
Yep.
You can't.
It seems somebody that's never seen a computer before, a silicon chip before.
Yeah.
It's magic. It's witchcraft. It's
like a Stone Age person would think it'd be.
Yeah. But we
they
understand it.
They could be taught it though. They could find out how it works.
Yeah, and I think you can
through practical examples.
You can teach stuff like the theory of gravity, despite the fact that it's a theory. It's made up of maths and physics, which can be taught in school. It's taught to schools. It's taught in schools.
That's the thing.
I think it comes down to a lack of understanding. Like, I strongly believe in this, but I can't help but say it's a theory because
and a belief
because I don't have evidence because I don't understand.
No, I believe in it too. And
are you two guys religious?
No,
because you've used that word belief about 100 times in this interview.
No, I am.
It's because I can't say that the flat Earth is false because I can't prove it. I'm about proof and evidence, and I don't have the evidence or the proof.
Yeah,
so therefore it remains a belief.
Yeah,
good guys. But you'd admit what are you studying again? Sorry?
Computer science.
Computer science. Now, you'd agree with me that science has to be open to question, open to be challenged.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with that at all.
And any scientific claims must be able to be demonstrated and repeated. And like Henry Cavendish in the 17th century, who claimed he measured the gravitational pull with 2 lead balls in his barn, no witnesses. Now that should be demonstratable now, today, in front of a live audience, in front of our cameras. That's not been done. But we're relying on a guy in the 17th century who said he's seen 2 metal balls moving slightly.
Yeah. But it's been replicated today.
Where?
With more advanced scientific stuff like the LIGO detectors detected the gravitational waves, and there's
did you see any evidence of that?
No. Well, I read some of the science journals on it, but not.
But don't we think we should be asking for a demonstration, a practical demonstration, so that we can actually witness ourselves, rather than believing that somebody's doing it in a barn under a cover of darkness?
But can you not be shown an experiment that you disagree with, and then that you don't understand, but the results are there for you to see, but you don't understand them? Maybe.
Well, let's say that there's a world full of scientists watching, and experts and learned people also watching it.
Yeah.
And if they all say, I can understand how that works, we're halfway there. But there's a lot of academics at the moment saying that this is a lot of bullshit, and there's no evidence to prove that we live in a ball.
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, having a 24/7 camera of the Earth, great. But what about producing a model of a ball with water going around it in a vacuum? Why can't they reproduce that in reality, so that we can see for our own observations?
So you're saying you'd have to put the ball sort of in a vacuum and then have sort of its own pool of water in.
And they have created vacuums, artificial vacuums.
But I imagine it'd be difficult.
You'd need
to
something with enough mass.
Something in it, yeah.
Mass?
Yeah, you'd need to, so gravity's created by an object's mass.
Or so they say.
Yeah, it's a belief.
Guys, I really appreciate you using it as a belief, especially when you're studying here and science is part of your studies.
Yeah.
And to get you to be honest and to say, well, a lot of what we've been told is actually a belief, and we accept that, rather than having any practical experience or observations ourselves.
I think any scientist has to. I don't think they can say that they're
until it's
right
until it's a law, it's a theory.
But even, in
practical application, it works. So therefore, it can work as a law for what people use it for.
Can you give me a practical example of it working?
Of Newton's law.
What any of the theories that you're talking about?
Well,
we have
in physics.
We have a space station orbiting the Earth. We have a space program. We have
Now, do you believe the space station is there, or do you know it's there?
Yeah, I've seen it in a telescope.
What have you seen in your telescope?
I've seen it pass over the sky, and I've seen like a very good image of it.
Can you describe it? What you're looking at? What are you seeing?
Like a metal object and a ray of solar panels travelling across the sky.
And do you have any proof that there are astronauts on board that?
No.
So again, that's another belief, is it?
Yeah, but I've seen this, and I knew where to look in the sky
Yeah.
from an online source that works out where it is based on mass. That's based on.
His question is, do you know it's actually the space station, or is it just something they've said? Look, it is.
Yeah.
But I would say, if they can put a metal object up there and tell what it's doing all the time and where to look for it,
based on mathematical equations.
Surely it's not impossible to then implement that as some sort of living space, as they claim it is.
Yeah.
I like your thinking.
But,
now, what if I was NASA and had all this sophisticated machinery to my fingertips, and I put something up there, some flying object that looks like an International Space Station, but it's so small in detail for you to really confirm what it is, and I give you the coordinates where it's going to be flying, and you look at, oh yes, there it is, but there's no astronauts on board, it's just a bit of metal flying up. And I don't know if you've seen any images of, sometimes there's no space behind it, it's the sky. So, it's not even in space, but because they socially condition you into thinking it is the International Space Station, whether there's space there or not, we go, oh yeah.
Because I only know about the different layers of atmosphere from that Alexander Baumgartner, or whatever his name was, who jumped technically from space, so it's still within our atmosphere.
Yeah, Felix.
Felix, that's his name. But is it not that the International Space Station still lies within the third part of our atmosphere, which is huge, but it doesn't really have any oxygen as such in it, but it is technically there? Is that not where the International Space Station lies?
But how do you know it's there, though? What proof do you have that it's there?
The International Space Station is in space.
Is it?
Well, I have just been gone off what I've been told, but...
If you go on YouTube and you research bubbles in space, and you'll see them practicing an underwater tank, International Space Station in a huge underwater tank in America, and they're actually underwater rather than in space.
Yeah.
And you'll notice, like this video camera, see what I'm going to do now? If you describe what I'm doing now, what do you think? What is it?
Panning the camera around.
Right, okay. A 3 what degrees?
360, yeah.
360 degrees. Right, now if you notice that doesn't exist in space. It doesn't exist on the moon. It doesn't exist on the International Space Station. Why? Because it will show you the directors, the actors, a studio set. Like Coronation Street never does that either. Coronation Street or any soap would never do this, because it would show you all the actors, directors, stage props. Now, why don't we see that on the moon or on the International Space Station? Does that not raise any questions to you?
Well, a 360-degree camera in the middle of the space station, surely it would be right in the middle of it. And
yeah, on the spacewalk though, I mean.
Well, all right. Well,
I think for the moon, we've not been to the moon for tens of years. I don't know when the last time we had man on the moon.
It was 71.
Do you believe they went to the moon?
Yes.
Why do you believe that?
I just believe that. I can't.
It's another belief.
Yeah.
I wish I'd had to calculate the kind of number of times you said belief.
But there's instruments left on the moon that you can fire a laser up to and get a signal back, because that's how they measure the distance from the moon to the Earth.
And if you fired that laser,
I would get, and I knew where, how to set all that up and do my own experiment on that. I could get that. Yeah.
Have you fired that laser?
No.
So again, it's a belief. Because somebody's telling you it happens.
Yeah, but you have to have that, otherwise we'll always be in the Stone Age.
I mean, if everyone had to practice everything to believe it's true.
But
I mean, I don't entirely disagree with you with your point, but asking for practical proof from everyone is not really.
But would you agree, in order to have critical, independent thought, you can't go believing things because people tell you it?
Yeah.
Right. I'm not saying not to believe it, but I'm saying, just put it on the shelf there, because I really don't know. Like electricity, I can't see it. I don't know, but I can see the effects of it.
Yeah. I mean, there are things like that. But as far as whether the Earth I live on is flat or round, it doesn't influence my life. It would not change my life to know differently. I think I'd still live exactly the same way I do.
No, I think it would mess me up.
Do you? I don't think it would. I think I would just... It would be like, oh yeah, this is different. And it would probably take a while to get my head wrong.
Okay, a lot of people say what you just said, but I'm going to tell you how it will mess you up, because you'd have to admit that these governing agencies and bodies are actually lying to you. The whole education system is lying to you. All the children have been lied to. If you notice rockets that take off, like, they never go straight up. They go on a curve, if you watch them, but they come back down into the ocean. Now, when they switch to space, it's obviously CGI. Nobody in their right mind could say that's real footage. So why do they always change to GCI as soon as they're in space?
I disagree.
You disagree with that?
Yeah.
Why did
so
you
I
say?
understand why they launch a rocket up and it gets launched like that. It's because it needs to get angular velocity to... something in space is always falling towards the Earth, but it needs the horizontal speed so that it always misses the Earth, and that's what the rocket's doing as it...
But surely the fastest way to miss the Earth is to go straight up, rather than curving.
But then
round
gravity's
it.
going to pull you straight back down. Like, so you're in space, you're always falling towards the Earth. The Earth
Do you not
is
have
always...
to dart through the atmosphere at an angle?
Yeah. Well, yeah, because it's the horizontal velocity that makes a rocket or an object in space miss all the air.
Okay, say what you're saying is true. Then why is there not a camera on that rocket to show you 24/7 all the way to the moon?
I think that...
Well,
we've not been to the moon, so that's why that.
There
There are cameras on the space station, but again, I can't prove the source of it. But nobody can prove the source of anything unless I've personally been in space and put a camera there. I can't.
You can't say let's talk about theories, let's talk about what you believe in, and then say obviously it's CGI unless you have proof.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think anybody could actually look at that and say it's real footage.
Okay.
It's obviously even people who believe in ball Earth admit, yeah, that's CGI, and don't understand why they're not being shown real footage.
I believe it's real footage. I can't.
Okay, could I ask you after today then to go on and research for any real footage, especially of a satellite in space?
But how do I know it's real?
Because it's obvious when you look at it. It's an obvious cartoon. It's just so obvious. I bet you, I'll leave you my number, I bet you £100 that you cannot find real footage of satellites in space.
But that's open to opinion. I could say, well, it's real, and you could say it's not real.
True. But then we could pass it around a few.
But if you look at it,
10 people to see.
If you look at it with a closed door or a fully open one, then you're just going to make your mind up for yourself on what you want it to be.
Especially if there's money involved.
I think I'm very open to it. Like I don't think I would never say to somebody, I disagree with you, you're 100% wrong.
That's good.
Like, I would never demean somebody that way, but I cannot be told to think otherwise. But I completely agree, I can't prove my...
Don't get it wrong, I'm not trying to encourage you
know.
to think anyway.
Yeah.
I'm just getting you to question what's already been endorsed into your brain. And
I just don't think I can on this.
But would you go off and have a look at it?
Yeah, I don't think I would see anything that would make me...
Okay.
I mean, I've nothing in depth.
I will disagree. I will disagree with you because there's a few guys on our channel, and one of the guys on there is Gavin. He did an honours degree in Glasgow University in physics and maths, and he's now realised and been honest with himself that he was told a crock of shit about living on the ball. Now he doesn't believe that for a minute anymore because he's using his critical thought, he's researching, and there are many more like-minded like him. So. Even though you're here at university and you do further education, I don't think that's going to stop you from seeing something that's going to trigger your cognitive dissonance.
Yeah, in a way I kind of hope that I do see something that makes me think, but...
Can I... you haven't got a pen, have you?
No, I don't.
If you write down this YouTube channel...
I'll take a thing on my phone.
I personally think this is the best evidence on... YouTube that the Earth is not a ball, and it's called Eric Dubay.
Can you spell this out?
D-U-B-A-Y.
Oh, sorry.
Eric Dubay.
Yeah.
200 proofs why Earth is not. I think it's a globe or a spinning ball. I'm not sure. I can't remember.
But how do you know any of that is exact evidence or proof? How do you know that?
How do you know there's
legitimate?
no counter-argument existing to
really
half
good.
of Eric Dubay's 200?
There is counter-arguments, absolutely. And there's a lot more arguments along with Eric Dubay's, but I went out and tested a few of these exercises myself.
Yeah.
So then I started researching satellites. I couldn't find any real footage of satellites.
But could you find footage of satellites?
Not in space, no.
Okay.
Photographs, CGI, yes.
Yeah.
Now, I already extensively researched the moon landings. I categorically know they never happened. So I'm thinking, why are they lying to us? Why are they lying to us about the moon landings? No satellites.
But how do you know the evidence that what you've read up is real? How can you? I can't understand how what I. Yeah, or is it?
Good question. Well, when I see the leg of one of the lunar modules on the moon, not a speck of dust on it,
yeah,
no crater, that starts to get me thinking. Right, the burst of the engines go down towards all that dust, and why is it so clean? There's no dust anywhere. I've seen expert analysis from photographers who are saying that the lighting and the shadows are all wrong for one.
Yeah, I've seen those as well. Yeah.
I've seen in the visor. An astronaut and another astronaut, so 3 astronauts on the moon. There was never 3 astronauts on the moon.
No, it was just the 2.
Yeah, but there's evidence of 3. I've seen frogmen in underwater gear in the visor of one of the astronauts, which is telling me it's underwater, not on the moon. And then I've learned people and scientists, could you please explain to me how rockets can propel themselves in a vacuum? Planes propel themselves against the air. Boats propel themselves against the water. What do rockets propel themselves against?
So it's not. Are you saying that they've got nothing to push against because they're in a vacuum?
Yeah.
But there's hot gas flying out of a small. Say if there's like a small hole with all this gas firing out, that gives it the push. I think it doesn't need to push against something.
Oh, it's the first time I've heard that actually. Yeah.
I believe that's how it is.
So it would actually work in a vacuum though?
Yeah, I think so. Well, I believe so because I believe that there's rockets up there doing these manoeuvres, and that's my understanding of how they work.
Yeah, well, I have to say that's the first time I've heard that. I'll have to look into it.
It's like when if you blow air at your mouth, no, because you're not going to feel it.
No.
But there's a force there of something coming at you is enough to move something, and it's the same with the rocket, just scaled up.
Oh well, okay, that's a good point. Thanks very much. I'll look at that. But have you seen the photographs of exposed fingers in space?
No.
The fingertips are off the gloves. I mean, the blood would boil, would it not?
Yeah, yeah. But how do you? Yeah, I just don't.
That's NASA's own pictures.
I'm afraid
I would need to see these pictures myself.
Yeah,
but then I could then just counter your arguments and say, well, how can you trust your sources?
Well, I would give you a link to it and show you it's NASA's own website.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
I need to go eat. Zero lecture.
Yeah, okay.
At least I do.
Sorry?
I need to go eat because I have a lecture in half an hour.
Oh, all right.
unfortunately.
Right. Yeah,
I'm good. I'm good to say I've got time.
Okay, thanks very much. Hey, thanks very much for your time, man. Thank you. Hi. I know it's a difficult subject because nobody's approached with it you before.
Yeah.
But I'm just imploring on you to go off and research it and don't believe anything I'm saying. And yeah, I just printed those photographs this morning, but I've got a lot more. I could have done the Fingers in Space one as well.
Yeah.
But there's actually thousands of videos on YouTube showing you the boat on the horizon and people saying, look, it's disappeared.
Yeah.
And thousands of people zooming in with the camera, and you see the bottom of the boat come back into view. So that doesn't actually exist where things go over the horizon. And also, even if they did go over the horizon, right? Say that pond is the horizon, the end of the pond.
Yeah.
And you think that's carving down on the horizon. Now, if we're actually on a ball, then to your right, to your left and to your right, and behind you should also be curving, should it not?
Yeah.
That never happens, does it?
I think on this scale you'd never notice.
But if you notice it in front of you, surely you should notice to the side of you.
But your vision only covers it's not quite 180, but it's that part of you there. So
yeah,
isn't the most sensitive part.
If you turn to your left, though, you just physically turn to your left.
Yeah.
Surely you should see it as well.
If I was stood on an island, like with nothing around me, I would see that what I would say is the horizon.
Yeah.
In a 360, I would be able to turn around and see it all, but you wouldn't see that here, obviously.
No, but there's no evidence of that being shown anywhere, though.
True, but there's always something obstructing you
But well, say somewhere like the Salt Flats in America,
Yeah.
completely flat for hundreds of miles. Surely you see it there,
Yeah, I believe you would.
but it's never been shown though. Or on a desert,
Yeah.
we never see horizon 360 round us, do we?
No.
So,
But I don't think that's evidence to say that it's wrong.
but surely that'd be an amazing photograph if it was the first one ever, wouldn't
That's
it?
true, yeah.
So why do people not do that?
I think there's enough evidence out there to say, well, we don't need to because we've got all this other evidence. I don't think a 360 pan of the salt,
Yeah.
salt plains will.
Yeah, but if I'm saying I've got something in my pocket here that's amazing on all four sides, here's one side of it. Do you believe I've got it on all four sides? Oh yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not empirical proof, is it?
No, but I think that's different. What about? So, have you seen a total eclipse? Have you seen an eclipse
Yes.
before?
Yeah.
If it was a flat Earth, it would just be a narrow slice over the moon. Whereas I've seen a total eclipse. I've seen the curvature of the Earth's shadow on the moon. Whereas if it was, can I pick up your thing here?
Yeah.
If it was a flat, obviously it wouldn't be paper flat, but the eclipse shadow would be that.
Yep.
But I've seen the curvature of the Earth go over.
Yeah, I totally get what you're saying there. Yeah. However, I'm not proclaiming that the Earth is flat, but
Yeah.
however, yes, I agree with you. We see a shadow going around the moon. That's absolutely. I think you could actually say that's factual because everybody would witness that.
Yeah.
But how do you know it's actually the Earth that's causing that shadow? Do you have any evidence that it's...
No, I don't. No.
So it's a belief again?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's fine. I mean, I'm not going to stand and argue with you if you're agreeing that what I'm actually seeing is a belief. I don't have any empirical proof that it's actually the Earth that's causing that shadow.
Yeah.
I mean, let's just say that they were shining a big shadow on the moon with some advanced technology to convince you that it's round.
But I would need proof.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
that's-
But I could see that just as much as you're saying it's the Earth.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I
So
agree.
neither of them we should really adopt as being factual or
Yeah.
empirical proof. And I think people go on jump to proof. Evidence is not always proof, but people see some evidence and they go, "That's it, it's proof."
Yeah.
Well, it hasn't proved the cause at all. It's,
Yeah.
it's a suggestion.
Yeah. And I agree there are situations out there where you are misled to believe something, but I just don't think it's this. I think I've been
You
quite...
don't think it's that? You're
No, I
hoping.
don't. I think I proved to be. I'm quite open-minded. I love the fact that I'm studying a science, and I want to be proven wrong. But
Good.
I just haven't been yet. Well, I guess I can't be proven wrong because it's not me that's.
But well, I'd advise you to go and watch that video.
Yeah, I will.
He explains in detail every one of the 200 proofs.
Okay.
And these books have been written before Eric Dubé did this. Although I think part of that is his own, but he's taken it from books that were written 100 years ago.
And this is a guy's alive now.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think he's the one that influenced me the most when I started watching
Okay.
things to do with flat Earth. Although I'm not stating it's actually flat, but the Earth is made up of 77% water.
Yeah.
Now, would you say that water is flat?
No,
No. Why not?
because it follows the curvature of the Earth. It's,
Right.
Yeah.
But usually, you're watching water here at the moment, right? Direct observation, using your own common sense.
Yeah.
Is that water flat?
I would say no, that water's not flat. But I can.
That water's not flat. Well, why not?
On the most minute scale, no, it's not flat. Because it
Because
has to follow. But it could be like there'll be parts of the Earth that are concave, just depending on what. And say if there was no contours in the Earth at all, and say the Earth was a perfect sphere, which is impossible. It was a perfect sphere, and there was water on it.
Yeah.
That water would not be flat,
Right.
but it would still sit
Yeah.
there.
I agree, but I'm asking you your own direct observations, common sense, and looking at it now. Do you think that water's flat?
It looks flat.
Right.
Yeah.
Excellent. So, but we're being told it's not flat because we're on a ball.
Yeah.
Now, if it wasn't flat, why is it not flowing?
Well, because underneath it could be. So that's a man-made lake.
Yes.
So it's been made flat. That's why that's flat. But on the scale of things around the Earth, it would be flat. In a perfect scenario, it wouldn't be flat.
Am I not right in saying that whatever hole you dig, if you put water in it, it's going to be level, whether the Earth's level or not underneath it?
Yeah.
Right. So it doesn't matter what shape this pond was before they put water in it. once you put water in it, it's going to find its own level.
Yeah. Oh, and exactly. That level is not flat. No, I would say it's not flat.
Yeah, but all water on Earth, the oceans, the lakes, the lochs, they're on a level. They're straight and level. So that makes up 77% of the Earth's curvature.
I would say, but again, I don't know actually.
That would be impossible in a ball, would it not?
I don't think it would. I think it's on the most minute angle that it's fine, but I don't think it is flat.
But going upside down to 250,000 miles,
Yeah.
that's quite an acute angle,
Yeah.
is it not?
Yeah. So that's why it's fine. That's why there's no flow, because of this curvature.
Yeah.
That the water's happy sitting still at that.
I mean, I'm intrigued. I really am intrigued to know why you think that could exist.
I don't know.
On a ball.
I don't know the reason why. I get what you're saying, and gravity maybe, water surface tension maybe. I don't know. I don't know the maths of it, but
Yeah.
I think if you were to speak to somebody who studies this, who studies fluid dynamics and stuff like this, they could explain to you why it works.
Yeah, but they would just use the word gravity to me, and it's never been proven. So
That's true. But then
is that not them just repeating what they've been told, though, rather than
that's where I was going to go with it. How would you know?
rather than using their own independent critical thinking? I'm just becoming a repeater. And no disrespect to your teachers.
Yeah.
They're repeating what they were told
Yeah.
without any direct observations or, dare I say, critical thinking of their own.
But then you're repeating what you've learned from somebody who's taught you. In a sense, it's the exact same, just on
It could be, but as I said, I came to this myself first with drone technology,
Yeah.
and then going out and doing my observations, like zooming at ships on the horizon.
Okay.
So that was my own direct observations. And yes, then I was watching other people doing their own experiments and like 200 proofs, which I can't discount.
Yeah.
And I can go out and see that for myself. I can use my own common sense and natural observations, and that's scientific, isn't it? Using your natural observations.
Yeah, I agree. So yeah.
And common sense. So with all that, that's what I'm going on, rather than totally accepting what somebody else is telling me.
I don't think common sense can be brought into it. I think there's a place for common sense, but in science, in proofs, they can't be common sense. You have to be able to. You have to have. I want to use the word formula, but I don't know if that's the right word. You have to be able to exactly prove what you're seeing and what you're observing, and I don't think common sense can come into it.
Could I give you an example of common sense and science? Is it a fact that you as an entity are standing here speaking to this entity?
Yes.
So we're using our common sense and what else would you call it? Natural observations.
But it's also exact fact, because we're both here, we're both...
And we could get 10,000 people to come and confirm that.
Yeah, exactly,
Yes,
and then it's fact, but... So that outweighs common sense.
Right, so you don't think common sense comes into it?
I wouldn't say... In a proof of something, no, I wouldn't.
Right.
I wouldn't want to use common sense. Oh, no, like, obviously I want to use common sense. Do you know what I mean? To, like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't discount it totally. Yes. Yeah, but what you're saying is actually observing the fact. You're saying we don't necessarily need common sense to acknowledge it as a fact.
Maybe I'm probably going to contradict myself. I just think you can't rely on common sense. Everybody needs to use common sense, but you can't rely on it. You need proof. You need...
What about natural observation coupled with common sense? Like you're observing a fact.
Yeah.
Using your common sense, well, that is a fact because two of us are looking at it, so that's common sense to accept that.
Yeah, but then when you... then maybe it's not the common sense I have an issue with, maybe it's just the observation.
Yes,
maybe there's more thinking into it. Maybe I take that back then.
Yeah, and it's open to perception as well, isn't it? Observation. But if you and I are both observing it, then it's more likely to be true. It's actually existing. Like there's birds flying around here in the pond, we can both hear, see and touch that.
Yeah.
But if we're just being told theoretically that's what's going on, then that becomes a belief, does it not?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
But here we can go and observational truths, touch it, smell it, use our common sense understanding, and so I think that goes against the grain of somebody in the 17th century going to a barn and telling me he witnessed two lead balls moving towards each other as in gravitational pull. I'm supposed to believe that.
But I think there's using that as the staple for belief or not in gravity, I think is wrong. I think there's more stuff that you can look at and be like, okay, there's like more recent experiments to prove gravity than this one. Sorry, I've not heard of this one before, so I don't know which.
Have you heard of any recent experiments proving gravity's existence?
Like, I couldn't name any.
Right.
No, I don't.
I was talking to an incredible nice guy here the other day, Hugo, who was telling me an apple falls from due to gravity pull, the centre of the earth pulling the apple down. So I was saying, but to me, using my common sense and observation, because Newton observed that himself, and all of a sudden he said, oh, that's gravity, the centre of earth pulling the apple down. But using my common sense, the apple has grown in weight and density, and it's too heavy for that little twig to hold it anymore. So the weight of that apple, the molecules of that apple are heavier than the atmospheric molecules.
Yeah.
So density.
But what's given it its weight?
Its own body of weight is heavier than the atmosphere.
What's given it that though?
The molecules that the apple's made up of. And it grows from small molecules.
But what states that some molecules are heavier than others? Why you can have like the difference between a ton of feathers and a ton of bricks. You can have a ton of bricks taking up this. You can have a ton of feathers taking up probably the size of that building.
Yes.
But what gives it its weight? Like why?
Are you talking about the mass of that object?
Yeah. That's gravity.
But have you got any proof that it's gravity that's pulling it off the tree?
No.
So are you saying that I'm wrong by using my natural observations and common sense, thinking, yeah, that twig's very small, and I can put that apple on a weighing machine and see that, yeah, it's quite a heavy apple, and that twig's not going to support that anymore. And I think it falls.
As an observation, yeah, in a very simplistic way of putting it, that's correct. No one can deny that, but you need to look into more to understand more. You need to, like.
I mean, I've had a lifelong of that lore telling me that's why it's happening.
Yeah.
But now I'm just using my own common sense and understanding.
But there's more mechanics going on there, and
what more mechanics are going on?
Well, I don't know, but there's like maths and physics going on. Like you could.
Yeah, but as my friend who's done physics and maths honours degrees tells me that mathematical equation proves bugger all on a piece of paper.
That's one mathematician, one person, and there's a whole field of mathematics and physics and
but I don't know if you know that British guy who does a lot of programs on space. Oh, what's it called again? Brian Cox.
Yeah.
Now he was doing a series on why the Earth is round, and he takes out of his pocket a scrumpled piece of paper, and he shows the camera some complicated mathematical equations,
which hardly anybody would understand.
Exactly. Yeah. I asked a few mathematicians; they couldn't make head or tail of them. And he scrumbles it back up again as they see the Earth is curved, and puts it back in his pocket. And those equations we are supposed to believe that proves that the Earth is round. Preposterous.
But is that his fault, or can you just prove that just because you don't understand it? I don't understand it, but I would believe that.
But even if you did understand that, is that proof that the Earth is round? Because you've got mathematical equations written on a piece of paper.
If it satisfies experiments if you can recreate it with that, I would say that's pretty much proof.
And have you seen it recreated anywhere?
No. But I am just a 26-year-old undergrad studying computer science. I'm not.
But I hope you do go off and have a look at it.
Yeah, I will.
Anyway, I won't pursue putting you on the spot anymore, and I'll send it now. So, thanks very much, mate.
You're very welcome.
Are you okay if I upload this?
Yeah.
Opinionated views. Don't switch on my TV, 'cause all they do is lie. And I don't need no programming telling me what to buy. But I believe the truth will set you free. I believe the truth will set you free. I don't believe in aliens. I don't believe in God. I don't believe in war. What are the reasons why they're for? Don't believe celebrities pretending to be what they ain't. make poverty history, they say, holding the saints. But I believe, I believe the truth will set you free. I believe the truth will set you free. I believe the truth will set you free. Don't believe the justice system will give you what you deserve. It's all rampant judges and Lucifer they serve. Don't believe banks are honest, they fleece you to the bone. When there's nothing left to get, they'll even take you home. But I believe the truth will set you free. 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 All that they serve you are opinionated view. I don't switch on my TV, cause all they do is lie. I don't need no program.